Let's look at freelancing jobs for beginners. As an employer, I want to show you what I look for when I outsource. So then as a freelancer, you can get work more easily and you can know how to keep the employer happy so you get high ratings and you get more jobs. I've outsourced around 170 jobs on freelancer.com and spent over $26,000. I've outsourced illustrations, 3D rendering, software, keywording, article writing, and website coding. I've also outsourced on other platforms as well. So if we look at my outsourcing, you can see here we've got 10 to a page and I've got 17 pages here. It's actually more than that because some of these jobs I actually just continued by paying more money to extend the job rather than actually writing a new job. So it's probably more like 200 jobs that I've outsourced. And you can see things like here, adjustment to a website design. This one is a Photoshop project, then some 3D character modeling. And on this page, shortening URLs in a WordPress blog feed. I can't even remember what that was about. And things like here, installing a reCAPTCHA. So lots of things I've outsourced, and that really means that if you've got any sort of online skill, then you can get work here. Now you might be nervous about bidding and doing freelance work, but all you've got to realize it's just someone like me who wants something done well and at a fair price. So let's give you some tips about this. And the first one I want to give you is that make sure you can do the job. Sometimes I get people bid on projects and they can't really do it. And you can actually see it when they bid on the project. They just copy and paste. I can do that project. No problem. Give me the job. And I just ignore those ones. And recently I actually had a person who I thought he could do the job. It looked like he could do the job by what he replied. And when I actually gave him the job, it was then obvious that he hadn't looked at it and he wanted to kind of negotiate after he'd already bid and I'd accepted it. He wanted to negotiate, find out more about what it actually was, and he didn't understand it at all. And it annoyed me because it was obvious that he was doing that to everyone, bidding on something, looked like he knew what he was talking about, and then just tried to get more money afterwards. So I actually gave him a bad review because of that, and he wasn't happy. But it's just to stop that so that he doesn't do that to other people as well. The second tip is to read the spec really carefully. I normally either ask a question in the text or I ask for a sample to see if the bidder's actually reading fully what I want. And if someone doesn't answer that question or doesn't give me that sample, then I'll just filter them out straight away. Here's an example of that. I've asked people to do keywords, titles, and descriptions for 150 images. And what I've done down here, I've given a couple of pictures and asked them to do the title, the description, the keywords. I've given a sample and then I've uploaded a couple of pictures and asked them to do the same thing with those different pictures. Now it might seem like a lot of work, but this is actually a long-term job. And I've said in there that this is 150 pictures, but I've actually got 3,000 pictures that I want done. So if you're okay with these, then I'll give you more jobs afterwards. So it's always good to think about that you might get repeat work, and especially if it says that there's repeat work available. So number 3, as I've just said, is spend time on the bids because you don't know which clients might be a repeat customer. I've quite often employed someone and then later date or sometimes straight away said to them, okay, I've got some more work that I want you to do. It might even be worth looking at the employers and seeing if they do give out a lot of repeat work. If you look at my jobs here, then these are my reviews that I've got. And you can see that it's actually the same people that I've been employing. There's a project here for this guy, Dzoni, and another one here, another one here. I've given out many jobs to him. Then this guy, Zonic Bang, I've given out one there, one job there to him. And this guy as well, I've given quite a few jobs to. I think it was back up here somewhere, and then another job here, and another job here, and then Zoni again there. And then this guy I've given out several projects to. So if I'm pleased with someone and I need more of that type of work, then I do like to give them more jobs. And it's just easier for me. I've already found the person who can do it, and I'd rather just go back to them. So tip number 4, and I've heard this from other people, is that it's good to do quick or simple jobs first. The idea is that you need to get a rating, preferably a number 5 rating or 4.9, and you want to get several reviews because then you're going to get more and more work. When I'm looking for someone to do work for me, I'm really looking at someone who's got maybe a 5.0 stars or 4.9 or 4.8. The more the better, because it shows that they know what they're doing. And you want that as well, and you want as many reviews as possible. I first filter on the sample that I give, that if people have done the sample or not, or if they've answered the question or not that I asked them. And then this stars is the second one that I'll filter on. Tip number 5 is that if you've got any questions or problems or anything you don't understand whatsoever, really you should message straight away to the employer. And it's just better to ask than to waste time. I have quite long conversations with people sometimes. If you have a look here, then I'm checking staff when they've done something and I'm giving them advice on if something needs to be changed. So just keep in contact. Don't go away and wait till you've finished and then you find out there's a big change. So if it's quite a big job, especially, then every so often just send the thing that you've done and just check you're doing the right thing. Tip number 6 is that once you've made sure the customer's satisfied, ask them for a review. I don't mind people asking me for a review if everything's gone fine, and I'm happy to give a review. Actually, the people will also give me a review, which helps me to get bidders. But I'm not too worried about that, but I'm happy to give someone a 5-star review if they've done a good job, so they can also get work elsewhere.